Channel 3 News. I am Micaela.
I am Tisha.
And I'm Sam.
We will be your tour guides today, and we will be showing you 3 major natural disasters. And those are volcanoes, earthquakes, and hurricanes. Stay tuned for a wild ride!
Alright, the first natural disaster are volcanoes. Volcanoes are openings on the surface of the earth that allows material warmer than its surroundings to escape from its interior. When this material escapes, it causes an eruption. Most volcanoes are formed along the plate boundaries, especially when oceanic plates sink beneath other plates. When a plate sinks deep into a subduction zone, it heats and begins to melt, forming magma. Now that we have a basic understanding about volcanoes, let's go deeper and find even more about them. There are 2 types of volcanoes, composite and shield. Composite volcanoes look like this. They are cone-shaped volcanoes that are built from many layers of lava and ash. When these volcanoes erupt, they are very explosive. And now, shield volcanoes look like this. They are usually composed almost entirely of fluid lava flows. It is wide with shallowly sloping sides. Shield volcano eruptions are non-explosive. Now, where can we find these volcanoes? Most volcanoes are found along a belt that is called the Ring of Fire. This belt encircles the Pacific Ocean. The Ring of Fire looks like this. Right here, you'll see it right behind me. It is a string of volcanoes where roughly 75% of all active volcanoes on Earth are. The reason why these volcanoes are common here are due to the tectonic plates, which are huge slabs of Earth's crust. Most active volcanoes on the Ring of Fire are found on the western edge. Now, how can we prepare for volcanoes? Or how can we try to survive from one? It is advised that you know your area's risk from volcanic eruption so that you know the chances of volcano erupting in your area. Most volcanoes provide warnings before they erupt. For example, an increase in the frequency and intensity of felt earthquakes, subdural swelling of the ground surface, small changes in heat flow, noticeable streaming. These signs can occur weeks, months, or even years before eruptive activity. However, it is possible that even when signs show, the volcano does not erupt. To be prepared for a possible volcano, there is a volcanic notification service. That is a free service that sends notifications about volcanic activity. Also, make sure that you practice an evacuation plan and have a shelter in place if an eruption were to occur. During an eruption, make sure to listen to alerts and follow the evacuation orders from the local authorities. Make sure to avoid river valleys downstream of the volcano and make sure to protect yourself from falling ash. Now that you know how to stay safe before and during volcanoes, you can now share this information with your family. Now, I should really get out of here.
Next, let's take a look at earthquakes. Earthquakes are when the surface of the earth shakes and disrupts the ground. This is done with the great energy that is being released as the Earth's lithosphere, which is its outer layer, is shaking and being displaced. Let's dive a bit deeper into how earthquakes happen. So an earthquake occurs due to the tectonic plates that lie underneath the Earth's surface. These plates are slowly moving, but the friction can cause them to get stuck at their edges. When the pressure on the edges overcomes the friction that's holding them close, the edges unstick and release energy waves that travel through the Earth's crust and cause the shaking. So now that we've established what earthquakes are and how they occur, let's talk about where they tend to happen the most frequently. Since earthquakes are caused by collision and sliding of the tectonic plate edges, earthquakes tend to occur at these plate boundaries. This means that the plate boundaries around the Pacific Ocean, also known as the Ring of Fire, are very common spots. This makes Japan the country that experiences the most earthquakes, followed by other spots surrounding the Pacific Ocean. Places like Fiji and Indonesia, but earthquakes also tend to be more frequent in other places such as Iran and Turkey. It all depends on how active the seismic area is at the plate boundaries. Now, you might be wondering, how do areas like this prepare for a natural disaster like this? What precautions are set in place? While it's rather impossible to predict an earthquake, it has become much easier to detect one. When an earthquake occurs, seismic waves radiate from the point of origin, and tools called seismographs or seismometers collect and record this data. These seismic waves from within the earth that signal an earthquake tend to arrive before the surface waves, which can help people prepare. Again, there's no real way of predicting any earthquakes before they happen, but there are tools that can detect and record them. There are also other precautionary measures that you can take. In some places, they are known to have more earthquakes. These people will create reinforced buildings that are designed to better withstand these natural disasters and help lessen the damage caused by them. If you yourself are ever present in an earthquake, you should always remember to drop to the ground and cover your head and your neck. Like that. Try to get under something sturdy and hold on until the shaking stops.
Hello, and welcome back to Channel 3 News. Now we're going to be talking about hurricanes. Hurricanes are the most violent storms on Earth. A hurricane is a large swirling tropical storm that forms in the open ocean and moves towards the land at speeds of over 74 miles per hour. Hurricanes are like giant engines that use warm, moist air as fuel. That is why they form only over warm ocean waters, like near the equator. When the warm air rises, it causes an area of lower air pressure below. The three main parts of a hurricane are the eye wall, and the rain bands. The eye wall is the area around the eye. This is where the most dangerous winds of the hurricane occur. The rain bands are the outer part of a hurricane that spin with it. When a storm's at maximum sustained winds reach 74 miles per hour, it is called a hurricane. A hurricane wind scale is from 1 all the way to 5. It's called a category. So based on the hurricane's maximum winds, it has a higher category. And the higher the category, the greater the hurricane's potential for property damage. A fun fact is that hurricanes can actually be seen from outer space. You might be wondering, where do these hurricanes occur? Well, hurricanes are tropical storms that form over the Northeast Pacific and North Atlantic Ocean. There are 2 other regions that have hurricanes, but they're actually known by other names, and those names are cyclones and typhoons. A cyclone is formed over the South Pacific and Indian Ocean, and typhoons are formed over the Northwest Pacific Ocean. Since we are near the Northeast Pacific, we will focus on calling them hurricanes. Specifically hurricanes that are likely to occur on the coast of Florida, Texas, and the Gulf of Mexico. If you live in a hurricane-prone area, you should always be stocked with supplies. Because what if you can't go to the store and your power's out? You'll starve and you'll be super thirsty. So, you should probably get flashlights, food, water, portable chargers, those kinds of things. You should also probably look outside your house to see if you should tie down or take in anything that could be blown away, like your garbage can. Placing sandbags around your home can also help you prepare for tidal flooding. Now you know that hurricanes are massive storms that have immense amounts of rain and gusts of strong winds that can be quite dangerous. I think I'm actually about to be in a hurricane right now. These winds are crazy.
Phew, that was a close one.
Barely made it out of a few difficult situations back there.
Make sure you watch out for these natural disasters now that you're informed.
See you next time.